Hi, this is Mike Cuddy, and I'm here to talk about this project I did. And I actually did this project maybe 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago or so, and I actually forgot. I thought I made the video for it, and I never did, so I'm coming back and do that. And this project is basically focused on beer and politics. And the main question that I'm trying to answer is, does the number of breweries, craft breweries in a state, correlate to whether or not that state voted for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? And then I have question two: are states that have more searches for craft breweries using Google Trends more likely to support Hillary Clinton? And so I got this idea for this project after reading Hillbilly Eulogy and Coming Apart. And in those both of those books talk about essentially that America is going through some drastic changes between classes, like the poor and upper class, and how people, especially in Coming Apart, you can almost tell the people, the class that they live in. Obviously, you could always tell by the cars that they're driving and clothes that they're wearing where they live, but also it's argued by the beer that they're drinking, whereas poorer people will drink more Bud Light and Miller and just Bud in general. More elite people will say drink craft breweries. So I wanted to see about that, and I decided to make this project. And it was a quick project that I kind of threw together. And I have to say, looking back at it, the design of it is not that good, and I'm not like, I think I would have changed a lot of things on it. But here on this screen, it's actually two images: an image of beer that has its opacity really lowered using Photoshop over a protest in DC, as you can see. So after that, let's log on. Comes to this screen, and it'll take a second for it to load the image. Actually, I'm not sure if there's an image on this page. Type in the password and submit. And so you come here, and again, the tests are explained right here. I'm testing for why I'm doing it, what I just said, why. And I have this other image down here. So that's it on this page. It's a very simple page. I'll come over here. You can edit your username, log out, obviously, which I'll show maybe at the end, and then data page. So here's like the results, and there's basically the question. I actually try to use a different format on this thing, is actually make it appear to be more of a data report. And I found some websites where people are doing their own data science projects, and this is actually more how they look. And so I'm trying to follow this structure. And I'm using Boku, and as you can see, that makes it a little bit more interactive. You can highlight the states and see them. Same, so it's an interactive graph, much better than using a matplotlib and kind of pasting that image in. So this is for the first question. As you can see, the correlation is only 0.42, so there's really no correlation if a state has more craft breweries in it if it voted for Hillary Clinton. And obviously blue is for Democrat, red are for Republican states. And then our states that have more searches for craft breweries based on Google Trends more likely support Clinton. This is all years, so it goes back from the start of Google Trends to, I think, right up to the election. And that correlation is 0.56. And that's actually going to be the highest, and it's still a fairly weak correlation. And then there's this one, which is just searches on Google Trends during the election for craft breweries. And what I found interesting is all these states right here, it's almost like Democrats. There's like two different groups of here. Like, so these states I would almost say are always almost solid liberal states for the most part. And then I would say up here you got Oregon, which fascinating to me is Oregon on the eastern part of the state, I think, has a lot more white supremacists and militias out in that part of the state. I mean, look at the issues out there with what tied to that militia group that was tied to the Bundy Ranch or whatever back in like 2015. Virginia is a purple state. Colorado is also a purple state. I mean, obviously it also has legalization of marijuana. Minnesota is not so much. I don't know about the politics of that state. New Hampshire, my home state, that's always, like, I would say, somewhat of a purple state going back and forth. And Maine, I'm not that, actually, even though it's right next to my home state, I'm not that sure about its politics, but it's just interesting how you've got these two different divides here. And I wonder if you dig into this data anymore, like what it actually would show you, like why is this divide happening here? You don't see it here up in this graph, though. So it's just very interesting that it's a very clear. There's one group here, and obviously the Republicans. I mean, you can argue that there's one group well, maybe one group there, one group here, and one group down here. I mean, if you look at these states, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Louisiana, I mean, I know people from these states, and they tend to be much, much more religiously conservative. So, and I wonder, this state is Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, North Carolina, purple state. So these states up here seem to be states that are a little bit bluer, and some purple states too. So they're closer to some of these states up here. So it's interesting what this does. What this does tell you. So I think that there may be something worth it here, but the correlation of this graph is only 0.33, so it's like the lowest of it. So maybe I'm looking way too much into this, but yeah, that's this project, and of course I'll just log out, and it takes you back here, and you can go to the sign up screen. And I don't have an image or anything there. I just wanted to make this a quick, simple project. And I have to say, I really do not like the what my page looks like here. Yeah, I don't really like this page at all, especially this right here. I think this looks too basic and too almost bootstrappy. Even though I didn't reuse Bootstrap for this project, it's all CSS Grid. I mean, if you look at it, the responsiveness aspect of it is pretty good. So that works out fairly nice. Except for the image. I've got to work on the images. But the only aspect of Bootstrap I really ever use now is just on the nav bar, only for the sole factor of this right here. So I get that, but that's it. So that's it on this project, and I hope you enjoyed this video.